I don't have a really cool story to tell you, but I'll make one up. In my day, we used to get electronics, and when we had electronics, we took care of them because we knew if they were broken or misplaced, we weren't getting another one, or we had to play with what was broken, risking electrocution and death. But that's just how it was back in my day. And kids these days, they have it really easy because if they lose like a wireless mouse or if they lose a phone, they could just replace it instantly with the help of Amazon, who will have it delivered to them the same day. Yeah, they just really don't know how good they got it. And much like that one that's in the dryer, the sock thief, always stealing your socks, never giving you a full pair of socks. There's a thief in this house. It's a charger thief. And it's not me. I'm assuming it's him. Are you stealing my chargers? Anyway, we have to do something about it, and I decided that I was going to purchase this 8-port multifunction wireless charger with 7 USB-A ports and 1 USB-C ports with a capability of up to 100 watts of usage. We're going to try this out here together today. I'll leave an affiliate link below whether it is good or not. It cost me $34.99 on Amazon, and I think this is going to help me out with charging my multiple phones. What's the real reason I actually purchase this? My reasoning is I saw RFinder has the Model DC1 now, and as far as I could tell so far, the Model DC1 and the WLX-X9 appear to be the same model. This one cost me $34.99 on Amazon, and if you go to RFinder's website, their 100-watt multi-USB charger hub charge 3.0 key wireless charger 8 USB ports is $54.99. And I would justify that if they are the same one, as for the extra $20 you're getting the user experience, the customer support experience that you might not typically get with items that you purchase randomly from online marketplaces. But I'll let you be the judge of that. I did rip that. I'll be honest. You know, when I'm a kid, I just kind of tear things open like this. By the way, I've been receiving a lot of text messages recently about how professional and great my equipment is, and you're absolutely right. Look at this amazing professional scale that I have here for new Vitality, measuring in at 11.6 ounces, and you could take that one to the grave. Oh yeah, I forgot, some of you guys don't know ounces, so let's see here. 0.725 pounds, or maybe 329 grams. We know there's 8 ports, one being a USB-C and 7 of these being USB-A. One of those 7 USB-As are actually a USB 3.0 quick charge. On the front here, you see it says fast charging base, but nothing else is lit up because nothing is plugged in or charging at the moment. And finally, there's no power switch anywhere on here, no on or off switch. So when you plug something in, that's when it activates the charger. I've had it plugged in now for just a few moments, and it doesn't seem like it's getting hot. Of course, nothing's plugged in, right? And if I place my phone on the top of here, there you go. And then here you go, it shows it's fast charging, 7 watts, 8 watts, 13 watts, 14 watts, 15 watts. I do really like how it shows you how many watts it's actually charging with. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the maximum charging for the wireless is 15 watts, 5 to 15 watts. And I think that's exactly what it was at least showcasing on here. Let's compare the X9 and the DC1 again. Both advertise 10 watts output for the wireless charge capabilities, but you will notice I was able to do 15, and that's what it specifies on the box as well, 15 watts of output. So that might be different from the DC1, and that might be preventing some overheating you may see later. It's really nice to have the ability to wirelessly charge my phone. Like, this would be really good for a nightstand. Now, it's going to be pretty remarkable when these start to do quick charge. Anyway, this does have USB-C capabilities. And the nice thing about USB-C charging capabilities, and this is we could just plug it in directly, USB-C to USB-C. And how cool is that? Right here it says 5.2 volts, 2.1 amps. Charging fast. And it does show that it's charging on the radio itself, 94% and flashing. So this is cool. I mean, not only could I charge my radio with this, and let's see, let me plug in this one first. What is this? USB 1. We're going to plug in our our iComb, and that is charging. So I'm able to charge my iComb, which is awesome. As my iComm is charging, 5.2 volts, 1.6 amps. Let's go ahead and plug in this radio right here. And I would actually like to plug it in with this USB cable. This is going to go here. It says it's charging. So right now I have both of these charging, which is awesome, right? Okay, cool. Very cool. Charging fast at that. Let's put my phone on top of here. So now my phone is charging. Just ignore any messages you might get. It says it's charging fast, but it doesn't show me how many watts now. Okay. Oh, 15 watts. Boom. Boom, there we go. So now we know it's charging fast at 15 watts wireless. It's charging my ICOM. It's charging my Ocean. No, that would have been too easy. Let's charge the new Retevis RA89, a spectrally clear radio that does 10 watts. Spectrally clean. And it says it's charging this as well. And we need to add a few more things. So let's add some of my wireless microphones here. And it's charging my wireless microphone. That's great. Let me go get the other two. Here's what we got going on right now. I just came back from grabbing more supplies or more things to charge. Everything seems to be charging okay. I fluctuate from a 5.2 volts to a 9.1 volts, and my amperage pops up to around 2 amps. Hey, something interesting that you might want to know, and I think it's very useful to know, is well, I'm not really switching between the unit putting out 5 volts and then all of a sudden jumping up to 9 volts. What happens on the front display here is you'll see a flashing red bar above whatever port you have plugged in. So for example, if you see a red bar that's flashing above port 5, it's displaying the information for port 5. And then what happens is all of a sudden you have something plugged in port 6, it will go to port 6 and start flashing the bar above the number 6 on the screen. And you guessed it, it will show you the information for port 6. So that's why you see 5 volts and then 9 volts. And then you might even see 15 watts because it goes port 5, port 6, etc. And then the wireless charger. One of the things that I'm seeing though, and what I wanted to convey is 1 shows it's charging fine. Now 1's the ICOM. 4 keeps fluctuating in and out. And 4 happens to be my wireless microphone. Okay. But I don't wonder if it has to do with this cable. So that's fine. 5 is the USB-C. That's been the USB-C to the phone for the rapid charge. That's been consistent. I'm already at 71%, and we'll continue to keep an eye on how fast it rapidly is charging on USB-C. And then of course we have our port 8, which is to the Ocean. So everything is good except for 4 keeps turning off and on, off and on, off and on. But I am going to add more charging capabilities to port 4, and it is now solid. What I think is happening, as you can see, 4 is now solid. By the way, this screen is really nice to read. Let's plug in a Flipper Zero. I'm just trying to plug in as many things as I can here because I'm kind of impressed, to be honest. Let's take USB 8, which is going to the Ocean KGQ10. We're going to put that in port 6. And the reason we're doing that is we're going to take our All-Star Sherry node and we're going to plug that into QC or Quick Charge 3. Yes, the Raspberry Pi is on, and it is booting up. We'll confirm that it booted up here in a minute. What else can we put in this thing? How about the Flipper Zero? I will point it out, because it's probably already been pointed out, but yeah, this cable right here probably needs a little love, or just to throw it away and get a new one. In the meantime though, I'm still charging this up and we're at 84%. It's been about 10 minutes since I showed you that it was 73%, and I got some more USB cables as well. So this is a USB-C. We'll plug it into port 2. And by the way, this is not getting too warm. It's warm, but it's not like hot. This one we're going to plug into our Flipper, and our Flipper is now charging up. The interesting thing is though, it does not show on the front screen that USB 2 is charging, although it does show that it's charging. That's interesting. Okay. Let's go ahead and plug in another USB-C. Now, actually, since this USB-C cable is not necessarily the safest thing in the world, and it was bothering a lot of you, let's just get that off the table. I went ahead and I replaced it with this black USB-C cable, which is not plugged into anything yet. It was plugged into my phone, but I do want to show you now that I have a Flipper Zero plugged in to port 2, and it shows port 2 charging, so that's great. And with that, we still also have the 3 microphones charging, the Ocean radio, we have the ICOM IC705 charging, and we have our Raspberry Pi 4 Sherry device, which the node shows online. Fair warning, I have not been into the node to see if there's any power warnings or anything along those lines. I do have this USB-C cable here, and I'm going to plug it into the Retevis RA89 again. Now it is charging, so we have 3 radios charging, and I'm going to put my phone up on top here. Definitely running out of USB-C cables here, so USB-A to C on port, I think that says 7, starting to get a little bit starting to look like a server room in here, I guess is the better way to put it. And let's just go ahead and plug in this device now. Okay, the camera's not charging. Okay, I can't turn it on. I've had constant problems with this camera. Let me grab another USB-C device. How about another Ocean KGQ10H? Yep, that's charging. So now I guess we realize that I pretty much am charging on everything but one port, and I'm gonna try to get something to charge on that final port. Let's go ahead and plug in this final one. I will say that it's kind of difficult once you start to get these stacked to get them plugged in, but I do have them all plugged in now, and I'm also using the wireless charger. You can see we're at 89%. Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's try that camera again. I'm curious if it was a bad cable or the camera didn't like that cable or something. It's not registering on the front panel display, and it's just not showing here. It could be that this camera just is done for. Let's try a Sony. The problem is when you get that many in there too, you start to, I probably want to label these if I'm going to use these all permanently. I'm definitely not going to have this many. I'm doing this as overkill, but I plug in the USB-C here and it does charge. Right now, to recap, wow, so I pretty much maxed everything out. What I will say is I had the phone on there, okay, one device. I had 3 Handy Talkie or handheld transceivers on there, okay. I had the ICOM IC705 on there. I have a Raspberry Pi with my Sherry device on there, and it's working correctly. I'm showing online. I have a Flipper Zero on there. I had 3 different chargers on there for the microphones, but they've already finished charging. My point is, this is pretty cool stuff. Yes, it went down to 7 to 8 watts of charging on the wireless once I had everything plugged in. But I think now my last thing I need to do real quick is I want to hook this up to, I want to hook up my SDR. I want to see how the noise floor looks. And my best guess is it's probably going to look just as bad as the things that are plugged in, right? But we'll give it a shot and see what happens, just for science, I guess. This is my indoor antenna. It's got a lot of noise. -94 right now, -92, somewhere right around there on 20 meters. And there will be a video coming out here soon that shows how I'm beating the HOA to get an outdoor antenna. So if you like that kind of concept, consider subscribing to the channel. But for right now, this is what we're going to work with, okay? Let me get off of the FT8 frequency and let's just take a look over here at 14.0795, -92, and I'm just going to start unplugging things. First things first, actually, let me just unplug the whole unit. Okay, I just unplugged the whole unit and we're down to -108. Let me do this. Let me plug back in here, okay? And with that, let me take off the wireless charging. Wireless charging didn't make a difference. Let me unplug one thing at a time. Number one, the Redibus RA89 was giving it that pulsing effect, but that pulsing effect kind of came back just now. The next thing we're unplugging is, let's just go port 1. By the way, it's starting to get warm. This unit is starting to get warm. Hold on. 109 degrees Fahrenheit. 108 degrees Fahrenheit. So just something to keep in mind that it does get a little bit warm. Next thing I'm going to unplug is going to be the FUHAOXUan KGQ10H. And the pulsing is back again. The next thing I'm going to unplug is going to be whatever's in port 1, which I believe is the ICOM IC705. Yep. The next thing I'm going to unplug is going to be the Flipper Zero. Okay. We're still down at 92. I'm going to put that phone charger back on here real quick. Interestingly enough, it doesn't increase as high as it was. It was still kind of high. Okay. Yeah, but we're still back up around 92. And next I'm going to unplug the Sony camera charger. That lowered the noise floor significantly. I mean, 94 to -100. What about, that one shouldn't have done anything because there was nothing on it. But next up, how about the FUHAOXUan KGQ10 that's black? Okay, and that lowered the floor even more. The Raspberry Pi, gotta unplug it. Okay, so now there's nothing plugged into this device except it is still powered on. And we're at negative, let's call it 108. Okay. By the way, this thing is getting really hot. Hold on. Just a couple of minutes ago, it was 109 degrees. Now it's 132 degrees. I'm not sure I feel that that's safe. Okay, I just tested it again. 118 degrees, 114.5 degrees. I'm hitting the same spot as I was a couple of minutes ago now. 114 degrees, so it didn't actually get too much hotter, but I am on the bottom of the case now where it shows 123 degrees. I want to make a couple of points here, and I think it's very important. Number one, this is the Model X9 that I purchased from Amazon, and it is not an R finder. And I want to mention that it's not an R finder. Why? Because I don't know, I highly doubt, but I don't know if Bob did anything from R finder as far as the filtering and the noise suppression goes on the USB, or that potential fire hazard. And that might justify the additional $20 that you're paying for this product, by the way. Now, also, I want to point out something, and don't kill my buzz over it, seriously. One of the things I really enjoy is I like impulsively impulsively buying things. And I recognize I impulsively buy things, but I do it so that I could unbox them on video. And hopefully you get the same joy that I'm getting out of unboxing it and learning about the item. And then as I get the item and I find things like the heat, I like to look up Amazon reviews. And here are some of the reviews that I found on this product right here, this X9. And a lot of these reviews are a little bit older, so maybe some of the issues have been corrected, especially now. Now that it's 15 watts instead of 10, but I would assume increasing the output power of the wireless charger might cause it to heat up even more. So I just wanted you to be aware of those few things. And to recap again, don't kill my buzz. Hey, thanks for watching the episode. Now, just to recap this, 8 ports seem to charge okay. There's a little bit of looseness in there. It doesn't sound like it's completely loose. It got warm when the wireless charger was on there. When I took the wireless charger off and I kept charging, it seemed to be okay. This device is not an RFinder DC1 because it doesn't say RFinder DC1 on it. Although I suspect that it's made just the same whether you go for the Amazon one for $34.99 or RFinder's one for $54.99. And keep into consideration, or keep in mind rather, that if you buy the $34.99 one, you might not have any support, where if you buy Bob's, you pay a little bit extra, but you have that customer support. So the question then becomes to you, is paying an extra $20 for support on a $34 product sufficient for you? Is that something you'd like to do? That comes out to you, but I'll leave a link to the Amazon version below, and I'll let you decide. Hey, thanks for watching the episode. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Maybe you learned something. I kind of did, and I appreciate it. You take care. Have a good one.